Good. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtike Om Agyanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahaganavita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastite Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusite Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Krishna Padaya Krishna Vasudevaya Giri Shri Giriraja Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vasudevaya Shri Bhakti Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachadini Nirvisheshwara Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Nandavati Guru Shri Guru Hare Krishna. So we are reading Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, Nature, the Enjoyer and Consciousness. So as we are aware, Shastras are ever fresh. However many times you read, study, text 21. Karya Karanam Kartyatve Hetu Prakritir Uchate Purusha Sukha Dukkhanam Bhuktritve Hetu Uchate. Right, so actually the class that we had last week, this is like illustration of the points that we were discussing last week. So last week's verse read, material nature and the living entities should be understood to be beginningless. Their transformations and the modes of matter are products of material nature. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects. whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. So material nature is causing whatever we see in the material nature, with the causes and effects. But, so it's just going on, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. So let's read this. The different manifestations of body and senses among the living entities are due to material nature. So material nature is giving us different types of bodies. There are 8,400,000 different species of life. And these varieties are creations of material nature, right? Material nature is creating the human body, the animal body, the insect body, the plant body, etc., etc. They arise from the different sensual pleasures of the living entity, who thus desires to live in this body or that. So every body that we find actually is designed according to the desire of the jiv. All right. So if you find a butterfly, this jiv wanted to have that type of body, meaning beautiful, able to fly from one flower to the next and remove this amrit, right? Nectar from flowers. It wanted to enjoy this type of ras and look very beautiful. Whereas the mosquito is a jiv who wants to taste blood. So it goes everywhere in order to remove blood. So that's the taste. They arise from the different sensual pleasures of the living entity, who thus desire to live in this body or that. When he's put into different bodies, he enjoys different kinds of happiness and distress. All right. So now this mosquito, it's really putting its life at risk. Is it true?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, but he's deriving some happiness by removing that drop of blood from our bodies. So he enjoyed different kinds of happiness and distress. His material happiness and distress are due to his body. Because I'm taking the example of the mosquito. So this mosquito is so tiny. It creates such a fire on your skin, right? When he removes that blood from the body, it creates such a burning sensation that one snap, you can finish it off and remove all the blood from his body, right? So horrible. So horrible. So what he's doing, where did I read this? Yeah, when he's put into different bodies, he enjoys different kinds of happiness. Oh, so good he found love. And such distress, he has put himself in the situation where he can experience the distress. His material happiness and distress are due to his body and not to himself as he is. So, again, coming to the thing of the mosquito. So, because of the shape of the body, he's easily killed. Because he's doing something, right, which is causing his misery. So he's trying to enjoy in a certain way, but from his enjoyment, he ends up in distress. So he's the cause of his own happiness and distress, and it's because of that particular type of body that he has acquired, meaning very, very vulnerable, extremely vulnerable, even though that jiv is so vicious. And we compare it to a tiger. All right. Tiger also is blood, right? but you don't just give a slap and kill a tiger, right? So his material happiness and distress are due to his body and not to himself as he is. So the body is allowing him certain things, and actually the mosquito, maybe the tiger became the mosquito, I don't know, or the mosquito became the tiger after blood. In his original state, there is no doubt of enjoyment, therefore, that is his real state. So why is it that this desire for enjoyment? Because it's natural. It's natural to enjoy. But there is a problem here in this world. Because of the desire to lord it over material nature, he is in the material world. Manaji, can you just mute yourself?
Oh, sure.
Because of the desire to lord it over material nature, he's in the material world. So he wants to somehow or other find his place in this material world and become a little master. His mind is such that it doesn't matter who you are, whether you are high or you're low. Whoever gets the chance will immediately want to pull down the other person and dominate that person. It doesn't matter who you are. In the spiritual world, there is no such thing. The spiritual world is pure, but in the material world, everyone is struggling hard to acquire different kinds of pleasures for the body. It might be more clear to state that this body is the effect of the senses. The senses are instruments for gratifying desires. So as we're explaining, the body that we receive, it's like actually whatever I'm saying, I heard those lectures from Prabhupada. That's why I took these. So the senses, okay? Let's say that, take again that mosquito. It's got a syringe, right? So through that syringe, it removes the blood, right? His tongue is like a syringe, removes, okay? So the body has to be fashioned according to that desire of the senses, right? You need a syringe. So everybody has seen a syringe, but now you got a jeev that is having that capacity to remove blood as a syringe. So the senses are instruments for gratifying desire. So the tongue that he releases, he put out, it has this syringe. Now the sum total body and instrument senses are offered by material nature. And as will be clear in the next verse, the living entity is blessed or damned with circumstances according to his past desire and activity. So it's this jeev who places himself in these different bodily shapes. And so here Prabhupada is saying, the living entity is blessed or damned with circumstances according to his past design activity. So I took the example of the mosquito. So the mosquito really puts himself at risk by when he accepts the body of a mosquito. I think there's nothing more hated in this world than mosquitoes. According to one's desires and activities, material nature places one in various residential quarters. All right, we are following this sentence. According to one's desires and activities, material nature places one in various residential quarters, meaning you live in this body or you live in Next body. The being himself is the cause of his attaining such residential quarters and his attendant enjoyment or suffering. So whatever type of body we have right now, it's the soul desired that type of body. All right. The being himself is the cause of his attaining such residential quarters and his attendant enjoyment or suffering. Once placed in some particular kind of body, he comes under the control of nature, because the body, being matter, acts according to the laws of nature. So once placed in some particular kind of body, it comes under the control of nature, because the body, being matter, acts according to the laws of nature. So if we are placed in the body of a dog, all right, we are going to bark, right? And if we are placed in the body of a cat, we are going to run after mice, isn't it? As soon, suppose, at that time, the living entity has no power to change that law, meaning the dog cannot behave like a cat, right? And the body, the dog cannot behave like a human being. He will do his own dog things. Even if he lives among human beings, he will continue to do his own dog things. For example, he's not going to use a toilet, right? He will just pass wherever he is, right? A trained dog may say, okay, I want to go out. But usually dogs just do their things. They're dogs or monkeys, right? They just do their own thing. So some suppose an entity is put into the body of a dog. As soon as he's put into the body of a dog, he must act like a dog. He cannot act otherwise. And if the living being entity is put into the body of a hog, then he's forced to eat stool and act like a hog. If the living entity is put into the body of a hog, then he's forced to eat stool and act like a hog. Similarly, if the living entity is put into the body of a demigod, he must act according to his body. Like placed in the body of woman, right? Then you have to act as woman, right? And we say, no, we are not in woman body, we are in man body, right? Then we try to change from woman body, and we want to now change. It's not just a question of gender, it's a question of body type that you have. It's a type of body. So now you have to change how much you will change, how much you want to look same as the male body. And then you want to act as the male body. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So if we are placed, so even the demigod has to act as a demigod. The demigod, it will depend on what's his position, but usually they are superiors and they are administrators also. Meaning that the demigod will have a refined taste. Not like the hog who will eat anything. Same Jeev, whether he's in hog body or in demigod body. So if by good luck, he transmigrates and reaches the demigod body, he won't have the same taste as the hog, even though it's the same Jeev. One time he was a Jeev that was enjoying stool in hog body. If by good luck he graduates, he comes to a demigod body, but now he will act as a demigod. That is the same Jeev who was enjoying stool in the hog body. This is what Prabhupada is explaining. Is it true? Is this what he's saying? All right. This is the law of nature but in all circumstances. Okay, here's the saving grace. But in all circumstances, the super soul is with the individual soul. That is explained in the Vedas, Mundaka Upanishad 3.11, as follows. Dwa Suparna Sayuja Sakhayaha. The Supreme Lord is so kind upon the living entity that he always accompanies the individual soul and in all circumstances is present as the super soul of Paramatma. So the Jeev is changing body, but the super soul is going along with him, as everybody knows, as a witness. He's simply witnessing, and he's actually navigating or driving the body of that Jeev, because the Jeev actually doesn't have capacity to operate his body. That operation is done by the driver of the body, that is the super soul. Right? Everybody knows if your arm doesn't want to lift, can you lift it? Rashmi, if your arm doesn't want to lift, can you say no, you have to lift? Laws of nature has put it down. You're in excruciating pain. So, meaning that when the super soul who is driving the body no longer wants to operate the arm, right? It's the super soul that's operating the arm through the agencies of the devas who are operating our bodies. And the super soul acts through different devas. So many devas are in control of our entire body. Somebody's for the ear, somebody's for the eye. Oh, I heard this. Yeah, Surya is for the eye. I don't know who's for ears. Right, Shravanam. There's all the devas. So the super soul acts through them. But in all circumstances, the super soul is with the individual soul. So this is from Mundaka Upanishad. Dwa Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya. The Supreme Lord is so kind upon the living entity that he always accompanies the individual soul and in all circumstances present as the super soul of Paramatma. Dwa Suparna Sayuja Sakhayaha. Our Sakha. Who's our Sakha? Who's our Sakha?
Krishna.
Yeah. When we go in dog body, he's there. When we go in demigod body, he's also there. We have to leave behind everybody, right? It's very much required that we practice this detachment from the body, from the house, from the family. We require very much to practice detachment. Otherwise, it becomes very, very painful when you're snatched out from your material circumstances. Anybody has anything about this verse?
Mataji, we had this line from Mundaka Upanishad in school in our Sanskrit text, but the meaning was never clear.
What?
So I used to keep wondering. I thought maybe the super soul is like one sage. Why is he not enjoying? I used to wonder.
What's that line?
Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya. I don't remember the two lines, but it was there in our school text, the Sanskrit text.
Oh, just
But
see.
the meaning we were not taught neither from the philosophy angle nor from the bhakti angle. It
Oh
was
my
just
God.
like one Sanskrit and translation. That's it, and we had to just mug it up.
And what for?
Mm. Like Sanskrit as a subject?
Yeah, what is, I mean, why this was mentioned? Why was that thought?
This entire shlok from Mundaka Upanishad.
Oh, yeah, so why were you taught that?
Because in Sanskrit we had texts like these, like from Sanskrit plays we had portions, say from Kalidas or Bhasa, and then philosophy we had from the Rig Veda also, from Mundaka Upanishad also, but we had no idea.
Oh my God, so just see Papa's mercy, right?
Mhm.
Okay, 22, text 23. Now this is very famous and highly quoted. Purusha prakriti hi bhunte prakriti jangunan karanam guna sangosya sadasati yoni janmasu. Okay, read Shikala, you want to read?
Yes, Mataji, thank you. Hare Krishna. The living entity in material nature thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus, he meets with good and evil among various species. Purport. This verse is very important for an understanding of how the living entities transmigrate from one body to another. It is explained in the second chapter that the living entity is transmigrating from one body to another just as one changes dress. This change of dress is due to his attachment to material existence. As long as he is captivated by this false manifestation, he has to continue transmigrating from one body to another. Due to his desire to lord it, over material nature, he is put into such undesirable circumstances. Under the influence of material desire, the entity is born sometimes as a demigod, sometimes as a man, sometimes as a beast, as a bird, as a worm, as an aquatic, as a saintly man, as a bug. This is going on. And in all cases, the living entity thinks himself to be the master of his circumstances, yet he is under the influence of material nature. How he is put into such different bodies is explained here. It is due to association with the different modes of nature. One has to rise, therefore, above the three material modes and become situated in the transcendental position. This is called Krishna conscious. That is called Krishna conscious. Unless one is situated in Krishna consciousness, his material consciousness will oblige him to transfer from one body to another because he has material desires since time immemorial. But he has to change that conception. That change can be effected only by hearing from authoritative sources. The best example is here. Arjun is hearing the signs of God from Krishna. The living entity, if he submits to his hearing process, will lose his long cherished desire to dominate material nature, and gradually and proportionately, as he reduces his long desire to dominate, he comes to enjoy spiritual happiness. In a Vedic mantra, it is said that as he becomes learned in association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he proportionately relishes his eternal blissful life.
So, what did you understand from this? Tell me. I've already discussed a lot. Now, what more? some very, very strong words that Prabhupada uses here, right?
जैसे अगले श्लोक में बताया, हम एक बॉडी से दूसरे में कभी हॉक, कभी डॉग, कभी डेमी गॉड, ऐसे अलग अलग बॉडी में हम लोग ट्रांसमाइग्रेट करते हैं, क्योंकि हमारी डिजायर इस तरह की होती है, इसीलिए हमें उस तरह का शरीर मिलता है.
Oh, it's,
और
well, I'm saying that we already know.
हाँ,
But there's some very strong words that Prabhupada, is using in this section.
तो हमें ये तीन जो मोड ऑफ नेचर है उससे ऊपर उठना है, और हमारी ट्रांसेंडेंटल पोजीशन को जानना है, तभी वो कृष्ण कॉन्शियस कहलाएगा.
Let's see. This change of dress is due to his attachment to material existence, right? That we already knew. Then Prabhupada is saying, as long as he's captivated, all right? As long as he's captivated by this false manifestation, like we find something beautiful, desirable, that we think is enjoyable, maybe money, maybe position, beauty, power, right? Good. As long as he is captivated by this false manifestation, he has to continue transmigrating from one body to another. It's an illusion, but we are captivated by it. So it's very much required for every one of us here, because we are, what can I say? We are like, we want to come out from the cycle of birth and death. Therefore, it is required for each and every one of us to be introspective and to find out what is it that's captivating me in this material world. Right? We need to be able to diagnose our own disease, right? And this is something that nobody can do for you, because we hide, right? We hide our own inner desires. Sometimes it becomes manifested, but most of the time it's hidden. Others can see, but we may become very expert at hiding our inner desires. So therefore, if we are to break this chain of reality, what is it that is captivating us in this false manifestation? Due to his desire to lord it over material nature, he is put into such undesirable circumstance. What is undesirable?
This material world.
So what is undesirable?
The world, material world.
The constant
suffering.
chain.
Yeah.
The endless chain.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, just imagine each one of us. What is our life at present? What are we going through, right? Now, if I die, I will take birth and I will continue the same thing, right? Just think about it. If we live up to, let's say 60 years, and I have to change my body, right? I again take birth, again I'll have to go through the same thing. It's not going to be, like that much different. You will only hear in the history book what happened, the last century or the last 2-3 centuries, that's all. Right? And we were definitely part of it. I heard that this Jeev, when he takes birth in the human form, 100 birth he continues as human being. This is how many chances he received to perfect himself. I heard, I've forgotten from where. So 100 lifetime, the same thing again and again and again, right? It's like inch by inch you're trying to improve. You improve this much and you do so many things that put you back, right? Then you regret, why did I do this? And then again you improve, in the inch, and then again you go back, right? So it's undesirable. So the determination, right? The determination to break out of this cycle has to be set in the heart with determination, with no flinching. Like you flickering, yes, I want, no, I don't want, yes, I want, no, I don't want. No, it doesn't work. Unflinching determination. How it is put into such different bodies is explained here. It is due to association with the different modes of nature. One has to rise, therefore, above the 3 material modes and become situated in the transcendental position. This is what we call Krishna consciousness. So how are we going to break out from this cycle?
जब हम ये समझने लगेंगे कि हम ये शरीर नहीं आत्मा है, भगवान के दास है और बोनाफाइड गुरु के संपर्क में आके भक्ति करेंगे, भगवान के बारे में जानेंगे और
so that determination, that change, so now I am locked in that conception that I'm in a particular body, right? And it pinches us that we are in that particular body, right? Because we are conscious that something is so proper, something is not proper. It's pinching us, but we don't know how to come out. So Prabhupada is explaining how to come out. He's saying that by hearing from authoritative sources. Actually, I heard one lecture, Prabhupada is saying that again and again you have to hear the same thing, again and again and again and again. So he said, just like a psychiatrist, how does a psychiatrist work? He keep on talking and talking and talking to the patient. That's his whole life. He only has to talk to the person. Again and again, he'll say the same thing until it starts to sink into the consciousness of the person. So, same method is applied here. I heard that straight from Prabhupada's lecture. Same method is applied. That the soul is sleeping, the soul has become so weak, the soul is intoxicated with this desire of being in the material world and to enjoy the material world, but he's being bashed. And when he's bashed, the soul becomes even more weak and sleepy. Right? It goes more and more and more into sleep because of the suffering of this material world. So therefore, Ono Bhagyavan Jeev, by good luck, he comes in touch with the merciful book distributors who will give him a Bhagavad Gita and who will bring him, come sit in satsang, listen. Again and again, Prabhupada say, again and again, he has to hear. Like best example is Arjun. Arjun is hearing the signs of God from Krishna. Is it the first time he's hearing it? According to you? Is it the first time? No, from the day he was born, he heard all this. Right? And when he's on the battlefield, he forgot everything. So again, he had to be taught. Again, he has to be told. Right? The living entity, if he submits to this hearing process, just see what Prabhupada is writing. What does that sentence mean? This phrase, the living entity, if he submits to this hearing process. What is this?
It means that Bhagavad Gita shlok, no Mataji, that we have to hear submissively from the Guru. And
Yeah,
that-
I know. Here's the verb is used. What is it? There is so much power in this verb. What is this? He submits.
surrender.
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 Meaning that he's so rebellious, right? Like you have a child. This child is so restless. You want to make him sit down and eat, and he doesn't want to do it, right? Finally, unless the child submits to the mother, then the food can go in his mouth, right? Isn't it? So this Jeev is so happy suffering in this material world, that he's not ready to sit down and listen. But if by good luck, he submits to the hearing process, hear when somebody's talking, if by good luck, all right, what will happen? He or she will lose his long cherished desire. Long cherished desire, okay? And not yesterday, suddenly he developed a desire. Long cherished desire to dominate material nature. And gradually, and what? Proportionate.
Proportionately.
Yeah, okay. Right? And proportionately, as he reduces his long desire to dominate, he comes to enjoy spiritual happiness. Right? He comes to enjoy spiritual happiness. In Vedic mantra, it is said that as he becomes learned in association with the Supreme Person Godhead, he proportionately relishes his eternal blissfulness. Ashwini, what you have to say? You came forward.
No, I was thinking that it's like, up or down, the way material desires go down and the spiritual desires will go up. So how we can reduce our wants and reduce our affection and attachment to material things, that much proportionately will go more attached to Krishna conscious activities.
Yeah. Yes, and na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, right? These are the obstacles. These are the attachments, right? But don't worry. Krishna is so expert that he will put you in such a situation, right? That everything, dhanam, janam, sundarim, everything you get out. Right? Everybody's in the straight jacket. in this world.
Yeah, but we are scared of that also, na Mataji. That is our fear also.
Yeah.
We are so attached to. I mean, that is, I feel, that is a big fire line which we'll have to cross. Um, it will be full of fire, and that is good for to mold us. But when it comes, we should be prepared to tolerate that.
Yeah, see, that's why Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam is like giving us every possibilities of anartha that a jeev can have in this world. All the different types of anarthas. So studying Bhagavatam, the stories, the life stories of the different personalities who are discussed and depicted in Srimad Bhagavatam, something will match our own problem, our own attitude. And of course, Bhagavatam is giving you a hope, is giving you a different goal, it's showing you a different vision of what our life can be. So therefore, we have to take the trouble to read Srimad Bhagavatam.
Mataji, in the last line of this verse, as he becomes learned in association with the Supreme Personality, he proportionately relishes his eternal blissful life. So, Mataji, we are listening to everything. So much we are listening. Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, so much. But the habits don't seem to be changing. I'm talking for myself, Mataji. The old habits, they don't seem to be changing, so much so that other people, like just yesterday, what had happened, what happens on Friday, I'm trying to fit in the Chaitanya Charitamrita class in between other things which I have to do. So that 1.5 hour I just sit with the class. So then that means before and after I'm rushing around. So people around me commented that you keep doing all this stuff and you're always attending some class or the other and you're always so stressed and rushed. What is the use of all this? You are more stressed than anybody of us. You don't have any friends. This was the exact comment. Your friends are only people from the temple. You don't go out with anyone. You don't do anything which normal people do. So that is why you are always stressed, running around. So I came home thinking about all this, and I was just thinking and thinking that actually what they're saying is correct. I'm finding myself more stressed, looking for time to make everything fit in.
You mean that you're getting your life fit in around Krishna, right? You don't have time for other things, but you're fitting it in, right? That's all right, isn't it?
I think it's all right, but
Krishna is your priority, right? And then you're fitting in everything else, right?
I'm coming across as being stressed to everyone, trying to fit in everything.
Everybody's like this. You ask me what my day has been today.
Okay, Mataji, that's okay then.
Right? All of us pause to make the time to be here. It's, it's a stress. So it's better to be sufficiently engaged than to be bored and lazy and having nothing to do. The time will come anyway, right?
मैं भी यही बात कहना चाहती हूँ रश्मि जी। मेरे घर में मेरे हस्बैंड मेरी भाई सब बोलते आपको भगवान का ये करना है, घर का भी काम करना है, आप अकेले नहीं कर पाते, फिर आप टेंशन में आते हो, फिर आपकी डायबिटीज बढ़ जाती है, कुछ तो कम करो, कुछ तो कम करो.
Yes, even I was going to say the same thing, that all of us are like that, stressed. But what I was talking about Rashmi's situation is that because they feel she is not enjoying like they are, relaxed as they are, because they don't realize that she is doing much more for herself. So they will never be they will not be able to appreciate your
Efforts.
it happens to them. It is
Hmm.
stressed because they don't understand what level you are.
और हम लोग चाहते हैं कि हम कृष्ण कॉन्शियस में ज्यादा रहे, घर का काम कम हो जाए, लेकिन वो हो नहीं पा रहा है. वो तो हमें करना ही है नहीं आओ. और उसमें हम लोग को ऐसे, उन लोगों को ऐसा लगता है कि हम लोग स्ट्रेसफुल है, लेकिन हम लोग ऐसे है नहीं. लेकिन उनको ऐसे लगता है, हमारा एफर्ट देखिए भाई, ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है, सब कुछ करना है, कुछ कम कर दो, एक चीज छोड़ो. लेकिन हमको कुछ छोड़ना नहीं, घर का काम करना ही है, लेकिन साथ साथ में कृष्ण कॉन्शियस भी रहना ही है. तो ये तो हमें करना ही पड़ेगा.
Better do now than when you can't do, right? There will come a time when what will your body be able to do? Right? And all right, so we'll meet next week. Very interesting chapter. Nature, the enjoyer, and consciousness.
Mataji, I have one more question, please.
Yes.
9th chapter, Mataji. With my group, I have reached, we did that verse where Krishna is saying in the 9th chapter, most confidential knowledge, that one, that I am death. I am death personified, like something like that he's saying. So somebody asked me that question. I will read the exact verse, Mataji. It's yeah, I am death personified. Krishna is saying to us. So when Krishna is I am death personified, what exactly he is meaning by I am death personified? So he's saying everybody will have to see the time of death. So what exactly is the meaning of that?
Which verse?
9th chapter, 19th verse.
The energy which sustains us by prolonging the duration of our life is Krishna. And Krishna meets us at the end as death. This is what Prabhupada is explaining. By analyzing all these different energies of Krishna, one can ascertain that for Krishna there is no distinction between matter and spirit, or in other words, he's both matter and spirit. In the advanced stage of Krishna consciousness, one therefore makes no such distinction. He sees only Krishna's everything. So this verse is telling us that death also is Krishna, birth also, sustenance is also Krishna, meaning everything is Krishna. So what's your question now?
So where it says I'm death
So
personified. They asked me to explain what it means by I am death personified. So I could not.
Yeah,
So-
Prabhupada gave the answer. I just read it. Prabhupada gave the answer. He said that the energy which sustains us by prolonging the duration of our life is Krishna. There is an energy that is allowing us to prolong our life, sustaining our life. This is Krishna. Similarly, there is an energy that creates the death, and that death is also Krishna. And Krishna meets us at the end as death. He's sustaining the life, And then when he stops to sustain the life, there is death. Right? There is an energy that is sustaining the life. And when the duration of that life is, if Krishna's energy is maintaining us, sustaining us, as what we call the duration of life, when he stops it, so it's still Krishna. So beginning is Krishna, end is Krishna, because it's his energy which is sustaining us throughout. Right? So what Prabhupada explains here.
Yes, Mataji.
Right? In other words, we cannot live unless Krishna's energy makes us live. Like most of the time, I think, how is it that I'm still alive? Like my body is so weak. All the time I think, how is it that I'm walking? How is it that I'm not being hit by a car? How is it that I'm not being hit by one person and just topple me and break me to pieces? I'm always amazed about this. And I think it must be because Krishna is sustaining me. Otherwise, I should die.
So, however we die, like for example, I think it was that Oppenheimer, that something to do with nuclear bomb, and he quoted this verse from Bhagavad Gita. He made that nuclear bomb, and he quoted this very verse. So he.
Tayayam. This is Tayayam. Yes.
That one. So then that means that somebody is going to be killed by that atomic bomb, nuclear bomb. So there Krishna is saying that I am that nuclear, I am this is my energy, this nuclear bomb which is going to kill you. Is that correct understanding, Mataji?
Yeah, that was misuse, right? That was misuse of Krishna's energy. That's how this verse we just read earlier, right? The living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. Material nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects. All right, so material nature is creating the body of the man. He's creating all the different things that will sustain him, creating the beauty of nature. But what is happening here? The jiva, they are causing their own suffering. In order to enjoy, they're causing their own suffering. So the scientist, he tempered with an energy and brought out an energy that was not required. There is great potential energy in the creation, right? So if Krishna knows how to use an atomic bomb, a small tiny jeev, he doesn't know how to use it, right? So he's like a child. He's like a child playing with material nature that came beyond his control. And it created such a disaster that nobody wants to use it again, even those who are of that type of mentality. They don't want this, right? It was let out by accident, you could say, found by accident, and let out by accident, and nobody wants to use it again. You're still in good times of Kali Yuga. And people will become so supremely demoniac, right? At all. By hook or by crook, win the war, finish off, Like I heard that, those bombs that were released. So it's the Americans who released that bomb, right? And that place is the most visited by who? It's a tourist spot. It's so famous and visited. Who are the most visitors there? Any idea?
Americans.
Tell me. Americans, yeah. Americans. Right? And who built back their cities?
Yeah, Americans.
Americans
Now
built it,
Americans, and
right?
Americans also took the vow to protect Japan forever.
Hmm.
Japan doesn't have army.
Hmm. Right. So, you don't play around with Krishna's energy. Right. So this is our experience, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Mataji,
Very intense, right?
I,
Ashwini?
yeah, very intense, very intense. Mataji, I wanted your blessings. It's my 25th anniversary today. I've been married for
Oh.
25 years. Can you imagine?
And she,
You knew
yeah, and she
before
has
marriage.
she has 3 beautiful children. One beautiful girl and 2 boys.
Happy anniversary, Mataji.
Thank you.
I have passed my
Happy
40 years
anniversary,
of marriage.
Thank you.
On 20th Feb, I passed for 43 years of my marriage.
25th? You tomorrow?
43rd. So on 20th, 20th Feb, I passed 43 years of my marriage.
Oh my God. Wish you a very, very Krishna conscious marriage anniversary, Mataji.
Thank you.
That's nice. That's great. My God.
All
How
right.
time flies.
Yes, Hare Krishna.